still spelunking through the lost mine of Phandelver. So last time, we left our brave adventurers in a bit of a predicament. A wounded Sildar, a cryptic map. More questions than answers. Oh, and they still have that delivery for Barson's provisions. I guess Phandelin's next on the itinerary.
You got it. Phandelin is where it all goes down.
Okay.
It's not just a quick stopover.
Right, because every good D&D town, it needs its own drama, right? So what's the deal with Phandelin? Give me the rundown. I'm getting this frontier town with a hidden heart of gold vibe, you know?
You're spot on about the vibe, but like the real story, it's always a little more complicated, right?
Right.
So you see, Phandelin, it wasn't always this struggling little town.
Yep.
Remember that Phandelver's Pact we were talking about?
Yeah, the agreement that made Wave Echo Cave like a shared resource for everyone. Dwarves, gnomes, humans all working together. It does sound a little too good to be true for D&D now that you mention it.
And that's the sad part.
Yeah.
Centuries ago, Phandelin was booming. It was this bustling mining town. People came from all over. The Pact, it brought so much prosperity, innovation. It was like this shining example of what happens when everyone works together.
Wow. Okay, now I'm really feeling for this Phandelin place. So what happened? How'd it go from boomtown to, well, whatever it is now?
Imagine this wave of baddies, right?
Yeah.
Orcs, goblins, you name it, wiping out everything in their path. These were the Ore hordes. And they wrecked everything that the Phandelver's Pack had built.
Brutal. So Phandelin just got caught in the crossfire.
Pretty much. Overnight, it became a ghost town. The mines were deserted, everyone scattered, all those stories of its glory days. Gone. Just faded into legend. What we have now, what your adventurers are walking into, it's like the town trying to claw its way back to life.
Talk about an uphill battle. No wonder there are still bandits and goblins lurking around if the town's still getting back on its feet. But to rebuild after something like that takes guts.
It does. And that's where the red brands come in.
Ah, yes, the red brands. I already don't like these guys. What's their deal? Are they just taking advantage of a town that's already been through enough?
Pretty much. They're like the bullies in the schoolyard, you know. The red brands, they've been terrorizing the townsfolk, shaking down shopkeepers, making life miserable for anyone trying to rebuild.
Classic bullies. But are they working with the Cragmaw goblins? Or are they their own brand of trouble?
That's a good question. The source material, it doesn't exactly connect those dots for you.
Yeah.
But there are definitely rumors in Phandelin. Remember, Sildar was a little suspicious of them.
Oh, right. He thought they might know something about that missing wizard, Arno Albrecht.
Exactly.
So there's something bigger going on here. Something beyond just petty theft and intimidation.
Think of it like this. The red brands, they're a symptom. Something's rotten in Phandelin. And it goes way deeper than a couple of thugs in red cloaks.
Okay, I am ready to see these red brands get what they deserve. But first things first, our heroes have a delivery to make. Do they even make it to Barthen's provisions?
They do.
Okay.
And let me tell you, Barthen's provisions, it's a welcome sight after that whole goblin ambush ordeal.
I bet.
Imagine a solid building, one that's seen its fair share of trouble. You can smell the smoked meats and fresh bread as you get closer.
It's like a haven for weary travelers.
Exactly.
So who runs this place?
A man who embodies the spirit of Phandelin, Elmar Barthen. Think gruff on the outside, but a heart of gold. He probably knows the price of everything in 10 towns over.
Sounds like someone you don't want to mess with. But I'm guessing these days he's more interested in the price of flour than a good old-fashioned brawl.
Yeah, he's more of a businessman now. So our heroes show up with the supplies, right, after that whole goblin thing. How do you think he reacts?
Probably pretty shocked that they're even alive.
You would be too. Word travels fast in a place like Phandelin.
I can imagine.
He'd basically written Gundren off after that whole Tribor Trail mess.
Oh no, for Gundren.
But Barthen, he's a practical guy.
Makes sense. He runs a business.
Exactly. So he offers a little incentive. He says, hey, if you can find out what happened to those missing goods, deal with those Cragmaw goblins, there's something extra in it for you.
Of course he does. It's like a side quest just fell into their lap. But I have a feeling our heroes are a little more focused on the main story here. What about Gundren? Does Barthen know anything about what happened to him?
Not really. He's as clueless as everyone else, but that's where those small town connections come in handy.
Okay.
Barthen, he knows everyone.
Right.
So he points them towards this really interesting character, Lean Greywind.
Lean Greywind, okay.
She runs a Lion Shield coster. He seems to think that she might know a thing or two about the Cragmaws, and just maybe she's heard something about Gundren.
Lean Greywind. That name has a nice ring to it. I'm picturing someone who knows how to get things done. Someone who doesn't let everything out to just anyone.
You're getting warmer.
Okay. Our heroes are about to meet Lynn Greywind. She's got to be the key to solving all these mysteries.
We're pretty good at this. Remember those stolen goods?
Yeah.
They're marked, right? With that blue lion?
Right.
That's the Lion Shield Coster symbol.
So the Red Brands aren't just terrorizing the townsfolk, they're stealing from local businesses. That's a new low, even for those guys.
Yeah, not exactly upstanding citizens,
Not at all.
but for your adventurers, that's gold. They can use that.
Right. Proof that those Red Brands are up to no good. Lynn Greywind have to be interested in getting her supplies back.
Interested. She's going to be thrilled. Lean, she understands leverage,
Yeah.
getting those supplies back. It shows they're the good guys, that they're there to help. And trust, that's a valuable commodity in a town like Phandelver.
Makes sense. So spill the tea. What's Line's story? She's more than just a shopkeeper.
She's a survivor. Linen embodies that spirit of Phandelver, bouncing back no matter what. She's also one sharp businesswoman. She knows who's who in Phandelver. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Someone you want in your corner, then. But does she know anything about the Red Brands and Iarno Albrecht, that missing wizard?
Funny you should mention that. Remember how Sildar said Iarno was sent by the Lord's Alliance to, clean up Phandelver?
Right.
Well, he meant well, at least at first. He even set up shop in this old manor outside of town.
An old manor. Sounds like a dungeon crawl waiting to happen.
Hold your horses, we'll get there. But yeah, something strange happened. Iarno, he became a bit of a recluse, even changed his name, started calling himself Glassstaff.
Glassstaff. That doesn't sound very wizardly, does it?
Right, and it gets even weirder. He started hanging out with some shady character, thugs, And they eventually became, well, the Red Brands.
Wait, so you mean Glassstaff, the wizard who was supposed to help Phandelver, is the leader of the Red Brands? That's quite the twist.
Talk about a fall from grace, right?
Wow.
Elaine, she thinks whatever Glassstaff's up to had something to do with Wave Echo Cave. And she's not the only one who thinks so.
Interesting. So Glassstaff and the Red Brands, they're working together, but still no word on the Black Spider.
Nope. But that's the beauty of a good campaign setting, right? It's up to you to figure it all out.
So I'm guessing the next clue is at that abandoned manor then. Dungeon crawl time.
You know it. This is where Lost Mine of Phandelver really goes all out. Secret passages, traps, everything you could want. A real test for any adventurer.
All right, so final showdown time. What awaits our heroes when they finally confront Glassstaff?
Let's just say, he doesn't give up easily. He might have strayed from the past, but he's still a powerful wizard.
But our heroes, they always persevere. Do they take down Glassstaff?
Well, victory's never guaranteed, but let's just say, they get a little lucky,
Okay.
and after the dust settles, they uncover a truth.
You can't just say that and not tell me. What truth?
That map,
The map to Wave Echo Cave?
the one and only. Glassstaff, he made a copy.
What?
And he's not working alone.
So, all this time, he's been taking orders from the Black Spider, but why? What's so important about that cave?
That's the real mystery, isn't it? Lost Mine of Phandelver, it doesn't just give you all the answers. It's like this big tapestry, and it's up to you to see the whole picture.
It's a story about greed, about ambition, and the allure of legends, right?
Exactly. And sometimes, the greatest treasure isn't found, it's earned.